Right meow. Right meow.
That was some epic withering.
That is so good.
It was
Thank you.
Fucking amazing.
Thank
so
you.
good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you did
big
some
shout
Bernie
out
Worrell
to
shit in there.
What's that?
You did some Bernie Worrell shit.
That was
Yeah.
so good.
That was so good.
Did you?
Thank you.
Did
Thank
you,
you so much.
Were you
A
aided
huge-
by the use of substances when you wrote that, or is that just all you?
No, I was aided by the use of MIDI. A lot of like sitting at like
The pencil?
Yeah. Yeah. That run was me looking up metal runs on organ. Like what are organ metal runs? And just like punching in those notes. And
That's hilarious.
yeah. But also big shout out to Ahmed Mahmoud who did the guitar on that. Hey.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Super
Thank
legit.
you.
Awesome.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we have somebody who can shred some guitar, like
Yeah,
a
that's
metal guy,
commodity.
you know,
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
yeah, we need.
Yeah, I it's always this like it's got to be one of my favorite parts of composing for this series is putting down this piece that I'm like, okay, I want some guitar on this. I want some like electric guitar, and then I put down the MIDI. I'm like, yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. That's okay. That's all right. And I'm like, but I got to send it to Ahmed. And I send it to Ahmed, and then he comes back with that, and it's just like,
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah. Indeed. Dude, it really like listening to that though. God, hold on a second. I can tell that this is playing somewhere else.
oh, do we have double audio?
Jeff's just like, I'm not doing this tonight. I'm
Sorry.
going somewhere else.
Yeah,
I'm getting
so
cereal.
I'm so excited for the time that we're able to incorporate just music on the platform, right? Like the devs, you know, it's on their list of things that need to be done, but it's not the highest priority. But eventually, I mean, hopefully in the next few months, we'll be able to make everything that we've composed for our audio books and our deep dives available to get on their own so that people can just listen to that. Because I mean, like it's kind of sad that people can't already listen to the Archemi stuff like on its own, because I mean, Justin, do you know how many tracks you have? And that's what, 5 books in the series now or 4? I can't remember.
It's 4 in the series so far.
Yeah.
I haven't published the 4th album yet, and it's probably about. I think it's about an hour and a half of audio now.
Wow.
Between
Wow.
all 4 books, or maybe
Yeah.
a little less, between an hour and a half. Many song, James says.
Yeah.
Much
very
epic as well. Yes.
I think people would just eat that up if we stuck that on the platform. Same with Monster Hunt. We have so much music for Monster Hunt. And man, like Deep Madness, all the dude, everything Aaron does for us. Holy shit. And Ahmed puts together great music too. Gary did some for Annual Rising, right?
I did, yeah. Not on that scale, but I did a little
You're
bit.
so talented.
You'll be able to catch up. And of course, Space Buns. Space Buns is starting
If you guys
to
haven't got Space Buns, the new song is very
That old.
yeah.
In Canada, we spell that song differently. It's Loon. Claire de
good. Oh,
Lune.
nice.
Oh, yeah, because of the geese, right? I don't know.
He was like outside of Dirk's window, like, and he's like, oh.
Geese look good in the
beauty
sky.
of the
When they
song.
get in front of you, they're unpleasant creatures.
She's got a beautiful voice.
Look at its tongue teeth.
Oh,
I
it's a terrifying
do.
creature.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're powerful. Don't mess with them.
Yeah.
Don't make me do a spit take. I got a new keyboard and it doesn't have one of those plastic covers over it.
Oh.
The stakes
Oh, no.
are so much
Be
higher.
careful.
All
Every
right.
All right. So what do we have?
Everybody wait for Annie to drink her water.
Okay. So news. Do we talk about news or what's going on the show today? Let's talk about what's going on the show. After we pontificate for a little bit, we will be doing an episode of American Fork. Then we have Mr. James Baldwin of Archemi Online fame. He will be joining us, and Justin will be interrogating him about all of his animals.
Yes.
Then after that, we will be doing a request. It seems that Mr. Stephen Rowland blew the poll, the SBTL Classic poll, out of the water. And because he's already got a master narrator on that book, I think that, and he's one of the hosts of the show already, I think it's more appropriate for him to do the narration than myself, honestly. So
I will do my best.
He will. Right after that, we just can't stop doing the AI dungeon thing, dude. It's too cool.
We have our shit together this week because you
This
got
one-
the subscription, and now we can continue with the game.
Yeah, we won't be stopped by the paywall this time. We have paid the troll toll, and and
troll pull.
And yeah, we'll be able to get through a whole adventure this time. So, what do we have for news?
What do we have for news? We had Emerald. There is Emerald is going somewhere.
It's going away from our platform.
It's going
We're
to.
very sad about this, but also happy that more people who haven't picked up our app yet are going to be able to check it out on Audible, right? So, for any of you who haven't picked it up yet, Emerald on audiobook and deep dive is still available on Soundbooth Theater's website, but it's leaving late tonight. So, if you want to pick it up for cheap, $10 for the audiobook, or if you want to get the deep dive, which will not be available on Audible, that has sound effects and music, then you need to go rush over to our website and pick it up now because it's going to be gone.
Where's the deep dive going?
The deep dive is going to hibernate until the
vault.
series comes back.
Yes, the vault.
platform. Into the vault.
Going back. It's going into the Disney
It's
vault.
going
for a
to
while.
sleep.
It's going to age in a cask, in a sherry cask. If you want my-
Very nice.
Yeah. And then when it comes out, it will be magnificent.
Oh, those sound effects have matured.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, go pick that up, guys. If you haven't yet, that's book 2 of the Land of the Elemental series. Book 1 is now available on Audible. Book 3 will still be available on our platform for another month. And then book 4 will eventually, once it's finished, be released straight to Audible. So just keep an eye out, guys. Pick up the cheaper version of the audiobook while you can, or pick up that deep dive of Emerald while you can, because it's gonna hide. It's gonna hide and wait for the right time to strike. All right.
Your pants will be down when it strikes.
Oh yes.
That's the only hint we're giving you.
You won't know when, but they will be down.
Don't you drop those pants. Become a never nude.
That sounds like such an epic. I'm Cochrane, the Evernude.
I want to say hello to everybody. Hello, Frank Moore, who is buried in a basement. Is that what I saw?
What?
Frank Moore.
I think he's saying Emerald's going to be buried in a basement with a cask of degrave.
It's not Frank Moore buried in the basement with a cask.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. That's where he's scooted in from the grave. Yes. Hello, everybody. Hello, Ron Big. Hello, Gary Simmons. Hello, Just Vibin'. Just Vibin'? I like that. Hello. Oh, every time I get to
the
this
Chinese
person's
guy.
name, yes, I can never remember his name.
Why
and
can't
he always
you
tells
name
me
yourself an American?
he always says, "This is my name," and I always forget. I'm gonna write it down. I'll probably
we're gonna all write it down if he if he's kind enough to tell us one more time what his name is.
Just one more, please. We've got
we'll
James
write it down
Osiris
and not
Baldwin
forget.
here. Of course, we have Gary Furlong. Oh, hey Gary.
Garfield.
Hi.
Garfield Flairflong.
Garfield.
Josh Wheeler's here. Stephen Rowland, of course, is here. Hello, Stephen. We're of course very excited for the requests only. And if you are here, Garfield. Yes, Garfield.
How can we forget this? Garfield.
Garfied.
Garfield.
Garfi.
Garfield.
Gosh, dang it! Now I'm still confused. Garfield.
Look, if he just changes his profile picture to the orange cat, we will remember.
I'm so sorry. I feel like we're forever doomed to butcher your name, but we are very glad you're here.
Yes.
Garfield.
Yes.
Garfield.
Thank you so much for joining. And if you're here and you're watching and you feel like saying hello, just jump on into that chat there and go HELL.
Do it.
00. 2 O's.
HE double hockey sticks. Oh.
That's right. As we do it up in the north.
All right, just maybe a couple more news things. Dungeon Crawler Carl 3 is in Audible purgatory right now. They are judging Dungeon Crawler Carl 3. They are tallying up all the things it does good and all the things it does bad. And making sure that it's mostly good before they release it. So that could take a while, or it could be tomorrow. I don't know what their system is. Something to do with like changing out of your clothes into a potato sack, then listening, then making sure you scratch because potato sacks are not comfortable.
Don't bore them with engineering terms, Jeff.
I know. But the thing is, it's coming, and I know you guys are all excited for that. Do we have any other specific news that's happening very soon? Anybody else?
Yes. There's this new feature on YouTube that if you like and subscribe, we each get a new boat, and you might see.
Yeah,
Ahmed's already got his, and Rich as well. We each get our own
tugboat.
Like it's a really small
decommissioned tugboat.
Like, the more of you like and subscribes, we get more of the same kind of boat.
Yeah. Eventually, we'll have a fleet.
So please don't forget to like and subscribe, because we're gonna be rolling in boats, and we're gonna want people to bring on these boats and maybe have boat battles.
We're just gonna be drowning in our boat taxes. It's gonna ruin us. The whole company is gonna go under. It's gonna go belly up, as it were.
Oh, I think it's time. I think that's our buzzer.
That's
it's time to move on to the next
it's time to
segment.
stop fucking around.
All right, we're gonna stop fucking around now. We're gonna get to some goddamn American fork.
Fuck.
You guys
American fork.
All right. Greetings,
Arlene
radio
Grace.
for
what? Sorry.
Oh wow, we already got into it. Go. I was just gonna
Are
say
we
hello to
into
the
it?
new people.
Hi,
Arlene,
new
Jean,
people.
Ornis. Hello.
All right,
Take it
shut the
away,
fuck
Annie.
up. Annie needs to read.
I know. I'm sorry.
Greetings, Radio for All listeners. It is so great to be back for another episode of American Fork with my fantastic co-host and social media maven, Amanda Waverly.
Yas, bae. And is it just me, or does it feel like it's been literally months since we did one of these?
I think you mean figuratively, because we're here in the studio just like we were last week, just like we are every week.
Well, it feels like it's been ages.
Well, it hasn't. Anyway, we have a really exciting show lined up for you today, and I'd hate to delay even a second more. So, without further ado, this is American Fork. Amanda and I are joined today by the long-suffering Detective Robert Scoop, who finally had a break in the case last week. Isn't that right, Detective Scoop?
Yes, it is, Bethany, and I am so very elated to be able to share it with you today. You see, when one's line of work is as tempestuous as mine, one must cling to any victory, no matter how small, in much the same manner that one must cling to an ill-constructed burrito.
Quite. And could you tell the listeners just what that victory is?
Yeah, brah. For the love of Zendaya, can you please spill the tea?
Come again.
What my eager co-host here is trying to say is that she, too, would like to know what new piece of information you learned.
Yes, well, you're not going to believe this, but the mysterious owner of Tony's Pizzeria is none other than Melinda Graham.
You mean the school principal and the sister-in-law of Mayor Walter McCormick?
That's right.
This is unbelievable.
Why though?
Amanda, after all this time here, I can't believe you don't know what a big deal this is.
Do you?
Oh, of course I do. And this is huge. Detective Scoop, can you please explain to my ill-informed protege here why this is such a big break in the Big Arza case?
Well, Bethany, aside from it being the first significant clue we found in all our months of searching, this new piece of information could lead us to unraveling American Fork's dark underbelly.
Yeah, I'm sure AF super shady. Makes total sense.
Think about it, my dear woman. Why would the owner of the most beloved pizza restaurant in town want their identity to remain a secret were it not for some nefarious reason?
Maybe she just didn't want to flex how loaded she is?
Maybe, but there's more. There's more. It turns out Ms. Graham also owns a great deal of real estate downtown through a shell corporation. And, as you'll see in the clip, I've brought with me today.
Oh, so what? Sounds like she's living her best life. Although I guess it's kind of weird she would be so bougie on the down low and still spend her life writing detention slips or whatever it is principals do.
Exactly.
That's right. And her connection to the first family of American Fork does make her business dealings doubly suspicious.
Yeah, but B, what does any of this have to do with Big Arza going missing?
Well, you know what they say. Where there's smoke.
Things are lit.
No, Amanda. Where there's smoke, there's fire. That's what they say. And it means if something seems suspicious, it probably is. That's why we sent Detective Scoop to the potential scene of the crime to do some digging.
Yes. As I was trying to say, after this stunning revelation, I ventured back to Tony's Pizzeria to get some answers. I was greeted by the store's manager, a chipper teenaged girl named Brighton, who truly illuminated our outlook on this case. Evan, could you please play the clip? Hello again, American Fork listeners, and thanks for joining me on this big game hunt for truth. I'm back at Tony's Pizzeria to talk to the manager and see what's afoot. I'll pull a little more yarn out of the spool of justice yet. Let's get to crocheting, shall we?
Hey, B, do you want to do the voiceover for this? It looks like the audio's not working properly.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I think the engineers might have fixed it.
God damn it. God damn it, Evan.
We can
That's
rewind
right.
it back. We can rewind it back.
Rewind it. We'll rewind. Okay.
We're a radio station. Videos, like not super good.
All right. Wait. Let's get the SVU done.
Uh-oh. I think the
We
show
need
might
that.
have to go on. Okay.
Hello again, American Fork listeners, and thanks for joining me on this big game hunt for truth. I'm back at Tony's Pizzeria to talk to the manager and see what's afoot. I'll pull a little more yarn out of the spool of justice yet. Let's get to crocheting, shall we?
Did you want to ask me anything? I've been sitting here for 5 minutes. I love justice too and all, but I've got customers coming in.
Yes, of course, my apologies. I've been known to spin a yarn. But, of course, you, an American Fork youth, must know who I am. Detective Robert Scoop, the top culinary detective in the world and American Fork's favorite son?
Yeah, I think my aunt has one of your books, or maybe it's my cousin. I'm not sure. I know I remember seeing you on a coffee table, though.
Yes! Continued relevance! It seems you come from a well-discerning family. Keep that aunt or cousin of yours around. I'll give you a free signed copy of my latest tome. Today's special is Soup to Justice. To take back to them.
Thank you so much. Anything else?
Yes, of course. I've skipped the pleasantries entirely, I'm afraid. Could you please state your name in relation to the pizzeria?
Oh, my name is Brighton, and I'm the manager here.
Oh, what a wonderful name. As manager, you must really brighten everyone's spirits.
Yeah, it's really easy to keep everyone going. It's not like hearing that joke over and over again would grind you down to a cynical husk.
Of course not. That's ridiculous. Brighton. Oh, what a great name. So, you're the manager here. Tell me, when did you start?
About a year ago, right after I got my braces off.
And have you always been the manager here?
Not always, but for most of my time here. The last manager got fired for selling bongs made out of pizza boxes with the Tony's logo on them. So it was really more of a right place, right time situation.
And who promoted you?
Actually, I had to sign an NDA saying I would not disclose that information.
So much secrecy. It reminds me of my second marriage. Tell me this then. How long has the current owner been the owner? And how did this person come to acquire the business?
NDA covers that too. Sorry.
Well, is there anything you can tell me?
I can tell you my responsibilities, I guess.
I'm sure that would be riveting.
Well, all right then. I can always just get back to work.
I apologize if I seemed disinterested. Please do tell me about your role here.
Well, when I get here after school, the first thing I do is make sure whoever worked the afternoon shift cashed out properly and did their side work. Then, I guess it's basically what you see. I take orders, serve slices, manage deliveries. That's about it. Oh, I guess I also make the schedule and handle payroll.
Payroll, you say?
That's right.
And when you hand out the checks, have you ever noticed anything strange about them?
They look just like any other checks to me. The owner outsources them to a payroll company. Now that you mention it, today's payday.
Could I perhaps look at a few of the checks? Or is that covered by your precious NDA as well?
I suppose it isn't. I guess there's no harm in me letting you take a quick look. I'll grab them.
Ah, yes. Thank you so much. Hopefully this will brighten, shed some light on the case a bit more.
Here you go. What is it?
Well, after going through this stack, I'm noticing something, or rather, not noticing something.
Okay. What is it? Or isn't it?
Well, it appears you're missing the check of one Mitt Pingle, a fine lad we've spoken to here on several other occasions.
Oh, that's not missing. Mitt just doesn't, he isn't on the payroll, hasn't been since I started anyway.
What? Why is that?
Oh, he has a special arrangement with the owner. Gets paid in cash, I think.
A special arrangement? But he told us he didn't even know the owner was Melinda. I mean,
So you do know who Miss Graham is?
Of course I do, young miss. I am a detective, after all.
Then why did you ask me all those questions about her?
To see what you would say, obviously.
Mr. Snoop, I think I'd like you to leave now. And as the manager of this establishment, that's my decision to make.
The name's Scoop. Robert Scoop, and I'll be on my way just as soon as I've gotten a slice of that 2-cheese pizza.
Get out!
Well, all right then.
Wow, what a bombshell.
You're telling me, fam, Mitt gets cash under the table and he lied about not knowing the owner? This is super sus. You were right. We've got to follow the smoke.
And we wouldn't have gotten this lead without the brilliant work of Detective Scoop.
It's truly my pleasure, Bethany. I knew eventually we'd start to chip away at this case. At times, justice is hidden behind thousands of years of sedimentary debris. Yet, once the erosion begins, nothing can stop it from washing everything clear as crystal.
Crystal indeed.
Classic Scoop de Loop. Sounds like Mitt's the one with the tea, and that tea is steeping. We have got to roll up on him.
That we do, Amanda, and that we will. Continue to follow us, listeners, as we get closer and closer to the bottom of this case next time on American Fork.
Hey!
Okay. I think we did all right. I think we handled it okay. Your computer
We just rewound
kinda
the tape.
crapped out on you?
Nothing happened.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. My audio cut out right as well, we were starting on this segment, and I tried to get it back working, but it just wouldn't work. So I restarted my computer, thinking I might be able to get back in time, and Windows decided to update.
Well,
Oh no!
well, luckily Annie knows how to play a
That's
female
hilarious.
character too. So
Yeah, that extra practice really, just
yeah.
it worked out.
Yeah. So that was as you guys can tell, things are cooking
Heating up.
in American Fork right now. We actually have
Indeed.
things happening.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's
about to
great.
get to the bottom of stuff.
I can't wait to see what the huge stupid mystery is.
I know, me neither.
Like,
Me neither.
I hope it's just as stupid as the characters in that town can make it. Like I'm very excited to see. I mean, come on, stealing a giant fryer, that's like genius, in my opinion. I love the plot of this thing, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds. So thank you, Ian and Emily, for writing us another episode. Sorry, you guys, they couldn't be here; they were busy. But I think Emily will be here next time, so next month, and that's going to be an essential time to interview her, because she will also not be able to tell us any more about the last episode than she has been able to tell us about anything else. So it's going to be special. What else we have next? We have James Osiris Baldwin.
I think we have James in the wings.
Yeah.
There he is. James Osiris Baldwin, everybody.
Can you hear me all right?
Hear you fine.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hear you fine.
Hooray, at least this technology is working.
Yes. Oh, it's been a doozy today, but
I admit that I'm kind of sad that I didn't get to hear Justin playing that role, because I heard him in the practice and it was pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah. Well, next time maybe I'll get to play Brighton again at some point.
Yeah. I hope she comes
We'll
back.
save that seat for you.
All right, so yeah, Warsinger, thank you so much, guys, for the job you did on that. That audiobook is amazing.
Oh my God, thank you.
I mean, the music, I don't know who's watching here, if you heard the music at the beginning of this live stream, but he Justin, and with the help of Ahmed, he just outdid himself on the music for this book. So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much, James. It's a true privilege to work on this series, and when I picked it up several years ago, like 2 years now, or coming up
it would have been about that. Like Dragon Seed came out in 2018, and I think you guys picked it up about a year after, so it was 2019. Yeah,
it reminded me so much. The pre-read reminded me so much of Final Fantasy, and obviously, working with Jeff. Jeff's really like, yeah, do whatever. If you want to compose music for it, go for it. And James, you were on board as well, and so I got to try my hand at it, and it comes so naturally, because the way that you write really is evocative of a lot of the JRPGs that I played growing up, and you did as well, I understand, right?
Yeah. Like, as a kid, I basically lived in Secret of Mana and Terranigma and similar games, like those Super Nintendo JRPGs, like they were my thing. And I still play, a lot of single player RPGs. Whenever a good one comes out, I snap it up and play it. I'm actually working through a Dragon Age Inquisition playthrough right now.
Nice.
About 5-7 years after everybody else. I've just finally started playing it. I'm like, oh wow, this is great. And so I'm getting a lot of inspiration from that game too. I realized through playing it actually how much some aspects of Archemi were inspired by Dragon Age Origins. And I didn't even do that consciously. Like, I hadn't even attempted to do that. But as I'm playing through the newer Dragon Age game, I'm like, some of this stuff, I think I actually sort of internalized it when I was playing Origins. And, that's sort of a thing that authors do. I want to get one of those shirts that's like, warning, I'm an author. Anything you say or do around me might end up in one of my books. Some sort of disclaimer because of how frequently that happens.
Do you, with Dragon Age Inquisition, have you been finding that what's been inspiring you specifically? Are you finding it's the voice acting? Are you finding it's the storyline or gameplay?
Actually, it's the politics. Specifically, the way that the game handles politics and makes it accessible to people who are not necessarily interested in politics. So, like when you are midway through an epic fantasy series, and, I would say Archemi is as much epic fantasy as it is LitRPG in a lot of respects. It's sort of a very much grounded in that like epic, kingdom building kind of fantasy. there is an inevitable like confluence of, you know, sects and guilds and organizations and churches and governments and stuff. And actually writing about that in a way that's accessible and fun for people is really difficult. The Dragon Age franchise, I think even more than Mass Effect, really nails how to do that. You've got like the Inquisition, and you've got the Chantry, and you've got all of these, you know, stakeholders in the storyline, all these organizations who are all politicking with one another. And the game makes that fun. And you know, they've obviously done a really good job because Dragon Age is quite a popular franchise, and you know, it's still ongoing. So I'm learning how video game designers and writers handle that, and that is something that, you know, is really useful for me as an author, because I'm sort of at the point with Archemi where the story is starting to really deepen, and Hector and Carolti and the crew are starting to have to carve out a niche for themselves in the world. And so how do they juggle all the stakeholders in that universe? You know, that's sort of where I'm at. So that's really what I'm taking away from it, is how to balance politics and fun, I guess, or how to make fantasy politics fun.
Well, how much of that is related to geography? I'm wondering, because you recently just released, I think for your Patreons, a map that your wife drew that was absolutely beautiful of the Archemi
I could actually go grab that. We got a print of it if you want to see.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
It's just on my bookshelf over here, so I will go on a brief journey. Hang on.
The audience approves.
We'll just stare at the kitties.
Yes, the cat tree.
Yeah, we got like a proper print made of it.
In here.
Oh, wow, look at that.
I'm going to stick my headphones back in.
Wow, that is beautiful.
So, there we go.
That's
So
Kind
this
of in
was
focus.
Kick ass.
It looks
Yeah.
like it looks like it's watercolor. That actually looks like an original watercolor.
Yeah, so this is actually a fine art print of it. A friend of ours has a contact who is able to do like reproductions. He got this done for us as a gift. But yeah, basically, my wife, I did the lines for it, so I basically roughed out the continents and did some of the spear and everything, which is the spear that Hector uses. Sort of everything's backwards, so I'm not sure where I'm pointing. But she did all of the painting and the color work. And yeah, so we're looking at doing prints for that, and having that is a really useful reference for me as well. But I think
Sure.
you know, in future books, we're going to be publishing that map, you know, as part of the release of the books.
Right. The can you show us the map one more time?
Yeah, sure.
So the world, one of the things that is as you will learn when you are listening to Archemi, is that the lore of these books, there is a lot of lore. There is
a lot of lore.
it's deep. It's like you read the book and you feel like, as you're going through the different AI descriptions, that there's just so much below it. I'm wondering.
Yeah, and
James, if you
so
could tell
just
us-
for reference, I'm sort of having to navigate without being able to see here.
yeah,
This no, this way. This way. This sort of, you see the weird little green thing there? There.
yeah,
That thing.
yes.
That's where this is where most of the action takes place. Just this little section.
Wow.
So yeah, that kind of gives you a sense of the scale of the world. I've been working on it for a really long time. You know, like Archemi is a couple of decades in the making, really.
Right.
Sorry, excuse my naked cat.
No, this is exactly where I was hoping that the conversation would lead, as it always does. Whenever we're interviewing James, it's inevitable that creatures will start to jump around.
It's pretty normal, yeah.
Presence known.
We have a lot of. Actually, that is incorrect. Sphinx are more
Really?
allergenic.
Oh, really?
Sphinx are.
Oh, wow.
If you're allergic to cats, they're actually more allergenic than long-furred cats. If you want a hypoallergenic cat, you need a long hair.
Oh, wow.
Really?
You would think Evernudes would be.
I thought that Devon Rexes were hypoallergenic.
Yeah, Devon Rexes are, yeah. And that's because their curly fur holds the oil on their skin. The thing that people are allergic to is the oil. And so Sphinx don't have any fur, so the oil just goes everywhere. So, you know, if I was allergic to cats, I would probably have a rash up and down my arm just from holding her.
Wow.
But yeah.
You have you have a race in Archemi based on cats.
Yes, I do. Very based on cats. Have you reached the point in Spear of Destiny where
I have
you met the
not
cat?
yet, unfortunately.
You are gonna laugh your ass off.
Yeah.
When you reach the Mewfolk bit, especially the bit where there's a bit where they're getting ready for a big fight, and I won't spoil it, but the preparations, you will read it and just die laughing. It's pretty great.
I am excited. I think you've mentioned a couple little things that have me very excited. But this is a race that's they're cat people, but they're very smart. And can you tell us a little bit about that and how, I mean, your cats have influenced these characters?
They have,
as well,
well, not just my cats, but many cats. I've worked rescue rehab for a long time, so we take in feral kittens. Both of these two girls, you can probably see Bella there. And Muriel's up the back there. She's the paw with the sort of creamy brulee lump up the top there. Both of them are rescue cats. And we also have another cat that we've rehabbed that lives outdoors. And God, over 15 years, I've probably rehabbed, more cats than I can count. lots of cats. Cat behaviorism is a thing. Ferals, injured cats, strays. You know, we do trap, neuter, rescue, all sorts of stuff. So basically, the Mewfolk are based on my knowledge of cats. And I was sort of imagining them as being like an actual people, you know, like a people that are obviously cat-like. And so that they have that kind of psychology. And a lot of their customs, their architecture, their clothing, all of that is built around what cats actually act like. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like they live in a kind of subtropical region, and then they spread out across the world. They're actually the oldest race in Archemi. They're the oldest species in the original sort of civilized people of the world. To some extent, I guess they fulfill the role that elves usually take in a lot of settings, except that they're crazy, you know, drug-using warriors who consider stealing and theft to be an art form. And there's actually some really funny body language things that they do. Book 5, Spear of Destiny, which Justin is currently working on now, is very Mewfolk-centric. They actually go to Mewhome. They actually go to the base of the cat people and meet one of the queens that rules Mewhome. And my wife and I, we do a lot of riffing, and we riff this scene where the queen of the Mewfolk is like, she habitually just pushes things off tables, like that's her deal. She's lying on her throne and like with her servants and everything, and she just, you know, while she's thinking about stuff, she like bats this little glass off the edge of a table, and that she has this like special servant that comes out, sweeps up the broken glass, puts a new glass on the table, and then scuttles off so that she can do it again. Because cats, they just do that. they knock things off.
I have had cats, and I don't know, Annie, Gary, Jeff, have you guys had cats?
Oh yeah.
I've never owned a cat.
Dogs and rabbits.
I'm currently visited on a regular basis by my neighbor's cat.
Okay.
Yeah, he's learned that if he sticks his claw in my leg, he gets my attention.
Yeah, that generally does. Yeah, like cats are weird. They're the only domestic animal we have that basically domesticated themselves. They've basically manipulated the human race since time immemorial to adopt them. They will pitch their meows and their purring to more resemble the sound of a human infant, so that to manipulate us. Basically, they emotionally manipulate us, and they know that they're doing it.
They wouldn't meow if it weren't for humans?
No. They, like, if you work with a feral cat, they don't meow. They don't meow and they don't purr, because they only do that with us. Basically, they figured out that we communicate verbally, so they communicate verbally with us. But with other cats, unless they're fighting and screeching at each other, they don't actually meow at each other. That's a behavior that they adopted to communicate with us and manipulate us.
That is
and manipulate is not an exaggeration. They know exactly what they're doing.
Well, I am absolutely stoked to get to that part of Spear of Destiny. We do have a clip, and this is the scene at the very beginning of the book, James. Are you able to give? Can you give just a little bit of a rundown of what we're going to hear with the desert and the bandits?
Oh, so it's the opening of the book?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you really want me to? I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory.
I don't want to. It is. You're right. Let's play the clip if we can have that queued up and
before we do that briefly, I will talk a little bit about book 6 after that if we've got a little bit of time. I have the title for it now.
We'll have some time afterwards. But this is from Warsinger, Archemi Online, book 4.
Sure, I can handle 20 guys.
Face, meet, palm. Tidbit. Phrasing. Karalty pulled her top off with a flourish and flung her shirt and scarf aside. The captain's eyes widened. A murmur went up among the bandits. The guys who had been half hidden overhead leaned down to gawk. All of them gaped with the awestruck expressions of men who had glimpsed the Holy Grail. Then Karalty unequipped her pants, and all hell broke loose. Black scales swirled up in a storm of hot mana, coiling around the place where I and Cutthroat stood. Just like that, the canyon was plunged into darkness as Karalty's huge, narrow wings spread out and stroked the air, driving a storm of sand into the faces of the bandits now collectively shitting themselves in terror. Most of them fled. Others went to their knees, screaming for mercy. The captain was the only one brave enough, or stupid enough, to shrug off his fear and attack. He let out a high-pitched shriek, dropped Cutthroat's reins, and rushed the dragon with my spear. I warned you, man! I held out a hand. The spear vanished from his grip and appeared in mine. Dudes wearing one color are bad news. He stumbled to a confused stop, staring at his empty hands, then looking up to see Karalty's jaws gaping over him. She snapped him up by the torso with the wet crunch of teeth driving through bone. He managed one muffled scream before the dragon flung her head and threw him like a bowling ball into the fleeing men, took a step forward, and roared. Karalty's voice shook the cliffs, raining rocks and sand and bodies down. Several formerly hidden bandits crashed to the dirt. I'm sorry! She has this problem where she compulsively takes her clothes off, I yelled after the retreating cavalry. How can I make it up to you? Do you guys like ice cream? After Surrey, ice cream was Cutthroat's favorite word. The Hookwing's pupils constricted to pinpoints of excitement before she threw back her head, bellowed, then charged off at full speed after the fleeing bandits. Without a rider, the huge Hookwing was faster than her smaller, panicking cousins. She leaped onto the back of the slowest one, dragging the honking dinosaur to the ground with her jaws and hind claws. She plunged her sword-like claws into the rider from either side, killing him instantly. The rider in front aimed his crossbow at her head, but as the fallen Hookwing crashed into his, the bow jerked back and he shot himself under his own jaw. She slices! She dices! She comes with her own set of steak knives! I sang out, using my core ability, Jump, to leap 40 feet straight up into the air. At the apex of the jump, I vanished into coils of black mist, reappearing on top of the cliff edge and scattering bandits in all directions. Order now and you'll get this free Spear of Nine Spheres shoved right up your ass! The NPCs drew swords and charged in to fight, skidding to a halt as the Spear of Nine Spheres came alive, bursting into black, cold, rippling foxfire that painlessly engulfed the blade, the haft, and my arm. Sorcery! He's a witch! I slammed the blade of the spear into the ground, discharging an explosion of black, thorny vines of energy into the mob. They lashed out at all 6 bandits, knocking 3 of them down, ensnaring one and killing one outright. Shouts of horror rang out as ice crawled up their limbs, freezing them in place. The dark mana swirling around the polearm turned a deep red as I whirled it around and cut them down one after the other. They fell to the ground, shriveled, their life energy sucked out of them. These bandits were level 10, with no magical defenses, no resistances, and only about 500 HP. They didn't stand a chance.
You have killed the Hari deserter. You have killed the Hari deserter.
The canyon below lit up with brilliant white light as Karalti unleashed her breath weapon. "How's it going down there?" I asked her, pausing to survey the carnage I'd just wrought. "Don't cook Cutthroat!"
I won't. She's fine.
Karalti chirped back.
She's behind me, eating one of the dead guys.
I really should be disturbed by this.
That, of course, was Laurie Catherine Winkle playing Karalti and the AI. Sound effects were Harlan Guthrie. Go ahead, please. Yes.
I was just going to say she has done such an incredible job with Karalti. Because she's done Karalti like all the way from when she was like a hatchling through to her young adulthood. So she's managed to like carry off that character across like 5 or 6 different stages now of growth, which is just amazing. Yeah.
Every time Karalti levels, she has to adjust her acting slightly to be a little bit more mature, and she hits it every time.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this series so much.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that you guys have been enjoying it.
That score is epic, man. It's
so good.
Are you using the Lego method in this?
No, this one in particular was done. It was not Lego method, but it could be, because there was like a recurring theme, and the way it was written really inspired the way James wrote this segment really inspired the composition, because it's kind of like what's the opposite of a curtain call? Like the beginning, reintroducing the characters. You've got Karalti jumping into action, then you've got Cutthroat jumping into action, and then you've got Hector jumping into action. And so the piece is just kind of built around that. There's like a theme of the ba 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 ba, and each character already has their own theme. Karalti and Cutthroat especially, so those themes were kind of interwoven in as well. I'm hoping to use it later on in the series as well.
Hell yeah.
These segments.
Yeah,
Okay.
so other
6?
than that, like I've been working on book 6, so we do have a title for that. The title of book 6 is going to be Crowned in Black, which gives you, I guess, some indication of what it might be about. Not necessarily what you think it will be if you've read the series up to this point. Spear of Destiny is the 5th book. That one, I believe, is in production now, Justin. You've started the read for it?
Yep. I've started I'm still working through the pre-read, but I'll be starting the narration very soon.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so we've got book 6, and then there's 3 more books after that. So we've still got a little while to go with this series. Yeah, so Spear of Destiny, then Crowned in Black, and then I have no idea what the 7th book is called. I sort of make it up as I nail down the story. But yeah, book 6 is in development right now. So, and I'm also working on a second series. I'm branching out into a more action-based, less epic, fantasy-inspired, kind of sort of Ark-like the game Ark setting with lots of dinosaurs and fighting and people doing survival stuff. That one's going okay. It has a monster protagonist. I'm actually getting the monster design commissioned. I was talking to the artist just before about that. Actually, he's just about to start that.
Excellent.
And the protagonist of this series, he has probably one of the best names I think I've ever made. It is his Radiance, MT Noodles the Fourth, PhD, is what he names himself. Because he can't remember his own name, and he's just giving the system sass when he makes his name. But he insists that the system, in every like arena battle that he has, he insists that the system uses his full name and title. So it's pretty great.
Do you have samples of this? Have you put up samples of this book?
I have given samples to my Patreon people, and I have shared them on Discord. I haven't done like much in the way of public posting of it yet. It's still kind of in the secret development stage. I've finished the first half of the book, so we're about 50,000 words in, and then whenever I edit, I almost always add like 20 to 30k. So it's probably going to be about the same length as Dragon Seed when it's done. But yeah, I plan to start sharing that once the second book is finished. I'm writing book 1 and 2 together. And
Big
yeah,
fan.
then it'll
So
be out. And it'll be on Royal Road first. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. And are you going to release it sequentially on Royal Road?
Yeah, as a serial first, yeah. So
Okay.
basically releasing it on Royal Road, having the first and second book up for pre-order. Anyone who's on my Patreon gets it early. You know, they get the whole thing.
Yeah.
But,
well, there you go. You heard it here. If you want to get a sample of these incredible books that James is working on, I'm very excited. Check out his Patreon. Be sure to join there. Also, check out his Discord. There's a great community of Archemi fans there, and James is there himself. I pop in every now and then, and it's really, there's something special about the community you're building, James, with Archemi.
Yeah, the Discord is pretty damn active for an author Discord, I think. I will post a invite link on the YouTube comments.
All right. Well, Warsinger is out now. You can get it on audible.com. And Spear of Destiny goes into production. Well, technically it is already in the pre-production stage. So stay tuned and follow James's Facebook page and Soundbooth Theater Facebook pages. And you'll get all the news you need from that. Did you want to say anything else, James, before signing off?
No, I think we're good. You know,
right.
I basically am just going to spend the rest of the day writing. So.
Okay, well, good
That's kind
luck
of where
with
my
that.
head's already at.
Thank you so much for joining us, James.
No
I'll be
worries.
talking with you later. And
Always a pleasure.
All right, and thanks for having me.
goodbye,
Especially with
Bella.
kitties.
Goodbye, kitties.
Bye, kitties.
Bye, kitties.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
kitties.
That was
I love
beautiful.
James. He's always such a pleasure to talk to.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right.
So much
So
knowledge.
what's next,
Cat
guys?
trivia.
I think this is
it's
a
a
very
request.
Justin episode. It's nice. He had to leave early last time, so I think this is making up for it really.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
SBTL Classic poll was Pangea
Yes.
Online 3, and Justin is gonna ride this one solo.
Yes, classic SBTL. Thank you very much. I'll just pull up the script, which is here. I forgot
Hurry
my
up!
computer shut down. Here it is. Here it is.
Ah!
Okay. Yes, this is a segment from Pangea Online 3 by S.L. Rowland. Book 3 is available on audible.com as well. You can check it out there. And I'll just jump right into it. 1 year after the events of Magic and Mayhem, this is the beginning of the book. So there's no real background, but I will tell you that Easel is a 20-ish male. He's the protagonist, and Alicia is a 20-ish female, and she is the love interest of Easel. Here we go. A flaming arrow whizzes by my ear. There's a warm pulse as my haptic suit attempts to mimic the sensation of the imbued arrow Alicia just fired. The arrow lodges in the eye socket of the orc before me, cutting off his battle cry mid-grunt as he falls forward and his HP drops to 0. Nice shot, I tell Alicia as I bury my axe into the skull of the nearest orc. The broad-jawed, green-skinned barbarian's eyes stay wide, even in death, as I pull my weapon free and kick the body to the ground. Another arrow sails by me. This one explodes upon impact, and bolts of lightning arc from one orc to another, stunning 4 of them in place. I take a step back and equip Staff of the Water Ancients, which boosts all my magical abilities. I cast Haunted Earth, and roots rip through the ground, rooting the stunned orcs in place for even longer. Next, I use Binding Thorns. Leaves and vines sprout from the roots, entangling the orcs further. Alicia continues to barrage the orcs that funnel down the narrow pass with arrows imbued with fire and ice. The vines cinch together tighter as thorns erupt, ripping into orc flesh and dropping their HP in chunks. Using my last bit of mana, I cast Sunbeam, and a wave of light engulfs the orcs. They scream as they struggle against the vines, trying to escape the burning light. Finish them off! I yell as I work my way up the pass, switching to my mace and smashing orcs off the narrow, snow-covered pass into the depths below. Alicia's red eyes flare with intensity as she nocks her next arrow. Her dark, charcoal-colored fingers wrap around the bowstring, and she pulls it back. Purple energy pulses through her ornately carved ivory bow, working its way down the string and onto the arrow itself. The tip of the arrow glows purple, then black, and dark energy coils around the shaft. She releases the arrow, and it soars toward the orcs as Sunbeam's last ray fades away. The orcs turn to run, each one with only a sliver of health remaining. The arrow morphs into pure dark energy and separates into 4 smaller arrows. They track down the fleeing orcs like homing missiles. Each arrow hits, and dark tendrils wrap around the orcs, sucking the last of their HP away. Tiny orbs of darkness fly back to Alicia, dissipating into her body and healing her for the small amount of damage she took earlier. With her dark skin and purple cloak, she stands out prominently against the snowy landscape. She tucks a strand of black hair behind her elven ears and winks at me. Bring us home, Easel.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, please. No.
No.
Annie,
I don't
please.
know why I just assumed it was me.
No. This is perfect. This is Annie's joining. She tucks a strand of black hair behind her elven ears and winks at me.
Bring us home, Easel.
The last of the orcs trudge down the pass, carrying massive shields formed out of crude iron. The jagged edges function as bludgeoning weapons. 3 orcs walk side by side, their shields pressed firmly together in a barricade. I only have a few moments to make a decision. With their current formation, my mace is practically useless. I cycle through all my weapons, but none of them can pierce the shield wall. With my mana depleted, magical abilities are a no-go as well. I need to get behind them somehow. Alicia, sweetheart, can you shoot a gravity arrow overhead? There's no shame in relying on my partner to finish the job.
Sweetheart? Really, Easel? Are we that couple now?
She laughs, and the arrow clicks slightly as she knocks it. There's a thrum as she releases. The air shimmers slightly around the arrow as it soars overhead. An unlucky bird gets caught in its gravitational pull as it's sucked in. It squawks as the arrow's magical properties keep it pressed against the shaft at an awkward angle. I equip Grappler, one of my most unique weapons that I bought on my first day in the Steam world. It has served me well over the years. Gary, why don't you take the system? Oh, muted?
Item, the Grappler, Ray Gun, +7 strength. Ability, Grapple, fires a grappling hook and attaches to the first object it hits. 30-second cooldown.
You'll not get away that easy, bucko. It's a beautiful weapon with a rotating barrel. One barrel shoots ray beams and the other fires a grappling hook. A small tube on the top swirls with lime green smoke. The ray gun doesn't work here in a fantasy world, but the grappling hook does. I fire the hook and it wraps around Alicia's arrow. The arrow's properties mean that my weight doesn't pull the arrow off course. Instead, it jerks me forward. I activate the grappling ability and the cord retracts, launching me into the air and over the 3 orcs. I let go of the grappler and land with a thud in the packed snow behind the orcs. Orcs attempt to turn, but their shields are lodged together. Before they have a chance to disengage, I equip my elvish battle spear. I have just enough mana to use Rapid Strike, allowing me to place 3 attacks in quick succession at the base of their necks. The critical strikes are enough to one-shot the 3 orcs. They collapse underneath the weight of their shields, and I toss the bodies over the edge of the pass along with the shields. Nowadays, I don't keep loot unless it's particularly valuable or something I can use. I don't spend as much time in Pangea as I used to. I've leveled up nicely over the past year, but I don't grind. I still honor my streaming contract, entertaining my fans several times a week. My partnership with VR Haptics is the only reason I was able to get out of the boxes in the first place, so I feel I owe it to them, even though I could buy my way out of the contract if I wanted. I spend most of my time beta testing full immersion in the Broken Lands with Buzz and Grayson, but this is where I get quality gaming time with Alicia. Her busy schedule with school and her internship doesn't leave a lot of free time for her, but we come back to the Mordican Mountains when we can, back to where it all started. My haptic suit is top of the line. It mimics smells, textures, and the weight of holding a weapon, but it's nothing compared to full immersion.
Not bad, handsome.
Alicia flashes me a smile. I kiss her on the cheek. Couldn't have done it without you. She laughs and rolls her eyes.
Oh, come on. You're Easel Allen, the kid from the boxes who won the developers tournament. I'm sure you would have figured something out.
The sarcasm drips from her voice. She walks past me up the pass to where the orcs come from, and I follow. The view from atop the pass is spectacular. Forests, rivers, and towns pepper the landscape in every direction. The town square where the main portal empties players into this world is nothing more than a tiny dot from our position. Alicia pulls a fur blanket from her satchel and spreads it on the snow. She takes a seat and uncorks a bottle filled with red liquid.
Substance, fire whiskey, buff, plus 2% attack for the next hour.
She pours some in a cup and hands it to me before pouring herself one. She raises her glass.
To us.
I clink my glass against hers. To us, I echo. I drink the fire whiskey, and my haptic suit goes warm around my throat and slowly trails down to my stomach. It's more of a symbolic gesture than anything. We don't need the 2% attack buff since we outlevel most of the enemies in this part of the map, but it's a reminder of our first adventure together, when she took a chance on me and we raided a dungeon.
Are you excited about your trip?
She puts the fire whiskey away back into her bag and moves closer. I am. I take her hand in mine. But, if I'm being honest, I'm also a bit nervous. This will be the first time I've been back to the boxes since the developers tournament.
Yeah, but it will mean so much to them. To see that someone just like them made something of themselves.
I'm supposed to give a talk to the kids at the orphanage where I grew up. I'll also be making a donation to help with their schooling. There's a lot of pressure in going back, mostly from myself. I want to tell these kids that they can do anything, to do my best to inspire them, but the truth is that I don't feel like I made it out on my own. It's not quite the same, though. I had luck, and then I had you and Buzz and Grayson, and in the end, I had my dad. Without all of that, I wouldn't have stood a chance. She squeezes my hand, and her fiery red eyes burn with passion.
That doesn't make it any less special. Buzz and Grayson, you met them in the mines. That developer's chest, you found it in the mines. Yes, your dad helped you in the end, but you had already made it out of the boxes and were living in Civic City by the time that happened.
I shake my head, but I can't fight back the smile. You're right. You always are. We enjoy the view for a while longer, watching the sun set over the surrounding mountain peaks. It's easy to see why people love Pangea Online so much. There's so much more to it than just fighting and leveling. Where else can you watch a watercolor sky this beautiful? Maybe at Pangea headquarters, but there aren't a lot of places in the real world with a view like this. Alicia's eyes glaze over for a moment as she checks her notifications.
Time to go. I have a bit of work to finish before bed tonight.
She gives my hand a gentle squeeze. We gather our items and teleport back to the town square. I should get some rest, too. Tomorrow is a big day in the Broken Lands, and then there's my talk with the orphanage the next day. It's going to be a busy week.
That was beautiful.
Hell yeah. Dude,
Pangea Online 3.
Pangea will always hold a special place in my heart because it is the first Soundbooth Theater audiobook narrated by someone other than myself. And that is really cool to me.
Big milestone.
That is really
Yeah.
cool.
Like when
Yeah, I was
wait,
really
so
lucky.
what we're looking at here is book one. Mr. Stephen Rowland got a new cover for book one, and we just I think it just got replaced on Audible. But this cover's dope.
Yeah.
The look on that like orc creature's face is great. He's just like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Yeah. So guys, if you want to go back go back to the beginnings of Mr. Justin Thomas James' career, check out the series. And he's stuck with it this entire time.
It's been an absolute pleasure working with Steven. Steven is an absolutely fantastic author, and I really enjoy working. It's just a very natural style. I love the way he does combat, and so to be paired with him as my first author working with Soundbooth Theater, I couldn't have been luckier. He also has the Sentence to Troll series, which is narrated by Eric Martin, who's a fantastic narrator as well. I highly recommend you check that out on Audible as well. Yeah, anything by Stephen Rowland, go check it out. He's also got his own. Thank you. Yes, Stephen. No, they got a lot of energy tonight.
Shut up, crowd. Shut up. We're trying to talk. Jesus.
Also, check out his Patreon. He has a Patreon, SL Rowland. So if you would like to support Stephen and his authorly endeavors, please, you can do so there.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, Gary, what do we have going on now?
We're gonna play some iDungeon.
And
Oh God, I'm back.
and Mr. Baldwin.
Hello, James. Welcome back. You're joining us for this glory.
So I logged into the account and I made a very basic character, and it's just on the front prompt screen, which I'm going to narrate, and then we can go.
Right. Okay. So what are the rules now? Now, for anyone who hasn't seen us do AI Dungeon, what's happening here? What are we doing?
Basically, we have this prompt here for us. We are going to type in actions and story points, and it's going to like react to it. Then we will in turn react to it, and it will be an AI kind of partnership, human AI generated story.
All right. So
let's get into it.
Let's should we do like last time where we're taking turns?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll read us in down to this end bit here, and then we can go. On my screen it goes Jeff, Justin. We can jump over me, Annie, and then James. Or do you want to go from bottom up?
I like top down.
Okay.
Yeah, go top down because I don't know what to do.
Here's gonna be my hokey DM voice. Kadar is a world of dragons, demons, and monsters. These dark creatures constantly war for control of the land. It's up here, that's why I'm looking up there. Leaving the few human kingdoms in the shadow of a dark and powerful force. But now the kingdoms of man are fighting back, slowly assembling an army to reclaim their world. You are Maximum Boutte, a Florgan half-demon bard in Kadast, the new city that was built recently after the war. You're a bit of a troublemaker, but you love to sing and dance and have fun. You were kicked out of your city for the trouble you caused and have traveled all the way to Kadast to find a new life. You've heard Kadast is a booming entertainment industry and want to prove yourself a big-time musician. Who knows? You might even gain fame and fortune to help support your sister Semra, should you ever meet. Now, is this music too loud, or is it all right?
No, it's perfect.
Sweet.
All right.
Jeff, what do you want to do?
Okay, so I'm not 100%. Am I in a bar already? Am I on the street?
Do you want to go to a bar?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a bard. I'm going to the tavern.
Go to a tavern. AI Dungeon suggested I write it as you go to a tavern.
Gotcha.
Right.
You go to a tavern. You've arrived at the city gates of Kaden, or what's left of it. You went to a very far away tavern. The city has been completely engulfed in flames, and the few guards that were manning the gate are now dead.
Oh, buddy.
So, what happens next, Justin? Do we do something, say something, or does the story do something?
Yeah, I have to do something about this. I'm a bard, so naturally I sing a very sad song.
Also, AI Dungeon says
a very
that we
sad
can write
song.
longer sentences. You sing a very sad song. You begin to sing, and you can see the eyes of the guards begin to water, the dead ones, and uncontrollable sobbing takes over. Annie, do you want to do or say something? Or do you want to put in a story point?
I become so emotional that I am unable to finish my song.
I'm a terrible typer. That I can't finish my song?
Sure.
Become so emotional you can't finish your song. You weep for your fallen comrades, and when you've cried, all you feel is numb. Your tears have given you a fresh wound, bleeding into your eyes.
Okay, well, if we're a bard, then the next stage is to get drunk. So, I take a drink of whiskey and share it with the guards.
You take drink of whiskey.
I take drink of whiskey
Yeah,
and share
there we
it
go.
with guards.
We're sort of a
Drink of
Russian,
whiskey and share it
we're
with
like a
guards.
Russian
You
Scottish
take
mix.
drink of whiskey and share it with guards. They smile.
They smile. Your song has made us cry. Thank you. Yeah. You smile and drink, feeling the warming liquid flood your stomach, warming you from the cold.
So I guess we're just camping outside this ruined gate while everything burns, and
The
We
bodies
tried to
are
go to a
rotting.
tavern, and
Very
this is what
Slavic.
happened.
I love how there's so many contradictory things happening. Like we're feeling
We're happy. We're not
warming
worried
from
about
the
the burning
cold,
anything.
but there's like a city
Freaking
burning right
burning.
next to us. Okay.
it's very Slavic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maximum butt.
You am Maximum Butt. What is your name? Butt.
But that's what they call you around camp.
Butt. That's what they call you around camp.
You say that in your real name. You're not but because you
Large stature.
they're like taking a butte.
That is hilarious. Oh my god.
Jeff, what happens next?
I ask the guards what happened.
Oh my goodness gracious me. Hold on. I'm see if they'll let me do this. No! Damn it. I'll try to be quick. You ask the guards, what's your name? Ragnall. Ah, Ragnall. My sister once had a boyfriend by that name, long time ago. You say, reminiscing.
Okay, now ask him what happened.
Ah, come on. You say, what happened? We all broke up. I think he left the city. No, he was executed. He was executed, she replies coldly. You frown, not knowing what she's thinking about. This female character who was not here before, unless his sister was there with him.
Yeah, I guess that's what's happening. His
Okay.
sister was with him.
You say what happened? Yeah, so now
Yes, I am Maximum Butt, and this is my sister, Finney Butt.
I turn to my sister and I ask her when she got here.
I'll go to you turn to your sister.
10 to...
We turn to your sister and ask her when she got here. 2 years ago! She says dismally. What brought you to the city, brother?
Revenge.
Oh.
Annie, tell us what the butt does.
Sorry.
tell us what the butt does.
You say
okay.
revenge, because they killed our boyfriend. Ah,
Yeah.
yes, I heard about that
Our
too.
boyfriend, plural, the brother and the sister have the same boyfriend.
He was a wanted man, no? He was innocent. So you came to take revenge? Yeah. Annie, I'm sorry, what happens next?
Suddenly, I notice a satchel sitting on my sister's hip.
In the butt.
Suddenly, I noticed a satchel sitting on my sister's hip. I walk over to it and open it up. Find a few things, a loot, some bread, and a large knife. What's in the bag? Food.
Delicious loot.
James, what might happen next? What might you do or say next?
Oh my god! I mean, I kind of already blew it early with the revenge thing, but
You get another one.
Oh, okay. Let's see. It's okay to take revenge. Something.
I like that you're
Okay,
trying to
well-
kind of keep hold of the story and like make it
Well,
coherent.
obviously the large knife. Obviously, the large knife is the murder weapon, and my sister is lying. So
Do you want to accuse her of killing your boyfriend?
yes, our boyfriend, plural. You know, the brother and sister had the same boyfriend.
Right,
Yeah.
it's
Killed
true.
Our boy.
You killed our boyfriend! He was a... What? Oh, go away. He was a scoundrel. He would have killed or enslaved you all.
I thought he was innocent. What the hell?
Well, we thought he was innocent. Wait, did we think that?
Right.
Yes.
We thought, yeah, okay.
We thought he was innocent, and we've come to take revenge. But apparently, he was a scoundrel. who would have
Noticing
Did he burn the city down? Was it our boyfriend? Was it our errant boyfriend who burnt the city down?
Oh,
Randall. God,
Sounds
Ragnall. God damn you.
did he burn
Sorry.
down the city? Nope. Then what makes you think to be different? I'm not. You're a liar. Ragnar looks at you. We're puzzled too, Ragnar.
It's
We
okay.
haven't.
Ragnall's watching this like, what?
He has
Max-
just been standing there, kind of going like,
because Maximum Butt appears to be somewhat schizophrenic and
And his
Okay.
sister,
seems to be
would-
arguing with himself.
Jeff, do
okay.
say our story.
I take the bread out of the pouch and say, Ragnall, arrest my sister.
How's this in spellology? Ragnar. Ragnar! You take the bread out of the pouch and say, Ragnar, arrest my sister! You grab the bread from your sister's satchel and pull out her weapon, pointing it at her. I'm sorry, but I can't trust liars.
Okay.
Ragnar's just kind of like, I'm gonna see how this plays out.
Justin.
Justin.
And I say, also, is that my loot?
Oh no! Is the my loot? I see Ragnar look at you, glare, and then turn to your sister. Mad! Why would you come all this way with a wanted man, a murderer, and a known liar? What?
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 Ragnar is
Boyfriend,
turning on
perhaps?
us hard.
Yeah, Ragnar just flip, man. She's bribing him.
Hold on a second.
This is all kinds of ridiculous.
There was something else in the satchel. I woke over and opened up inside her. A few books, a journal.
The private journal.
I found these. They're private journals, you explain, a bit confused. Annie.
And then I noticed something shiny at the very bottom of the satchel. Something that I almost
digging.
missed.
She's digging.
It was a giant butt plug.
Okay, let's let the butt plugs emerge organically, please. Let's not insert
I don't
butt
have the
plugs into
patience.
the situation.
Yes, the more exclamation marks, the more.
You noticed something shiny at the bottom of the satchel. It was a giant butt plug. Yes, it's a giant butt. Ragnar replies. And I found it by the stream.
I was sitting on
I was sitting on it.
Was it his butt he's talking about? This is quite a creative bard.
Yeah, I'm
James, what do you want to say to this?
I'm overwhelmed. I would say let's accuse Ragnar of being a butt thief at this point. It's like he stole my sister, he stole my loot, and now he's stolen my butt. And as Maximum Butt, I must defend my family's honor.
You say, are you a butt thief? What? Are you a butt thief? You stole the butt of some innocent man. Oh, I found Look, we're taking that giant butt to Chief Bromden.
It's so
Okay.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Finally, things are moving.
Can I please add one more? I want to
Yeah,
duel
absolutely.
Ragnall over this.
You want to fight him?
Yeah, we need a duel.
Yeah.
Butts at 20 paces.
You fight Ragnall, butts at 20 paces. I think I'll sit this one out. I trust you can handle her. Don't worry, I always get my revenge. Ragnall has taken you. Well, you won.
Apparently. We're maximum booty.
Did Ragnall say, "I'm not going to fight you. You can handle your sister," and then we say, "Don't worry, I always get my revenge," and then he fucks off to jail?
I think so.
Yeah. He just
off to jail.
He just forfeited and went straight to jail.
I mean, he
Oh.
really
He
couldn't
doesn't
handle
wanna face
maximum boutte, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chief Bromden, we gotta go talk to him. Okay, so let's go break Ragnall out of jail. I feel bad now that he. So
He has vital information about Chief
and
Bromden.
ask Chief Bromden to release Ragnall.
We're just screwing with this guy at this point.
Alright. You go to the cells and ask Chief Bromden to release Ragnall. Sorry, son, but she is a thief and a murderer. We need to keep her here. You leave frustrated and saddened. Your sister is a murderer? What kind of... We're in prison now.
Oh, Ragnall!
So Ragnall was our sister all along.
Ragnall knew we would go to try and release him, and then sister swapped us, and now we're in jail. That Ragnall. Because, well, what kind of sister leaves her brother in prison? We're her brother.
Oh,
I think Ragnall's our sister.
Is Ragnall our sister?
Ragnall is her
I think
sister.
so.
I thought Sorel or whatever was her sister.
So I thought Semra was our sister.
Semra.
And I thought Ragnall was the guard.
It's kind of a mad fever dream at this point, so I don't think it really matters.
It's totally a fever
Okay.
It
dream.
really is.
Okay.
Ragnall's a vampire assassin. Her boyfriend was framed, and she's here to revenge him. She's been stealing butt plugs from the giant butt thieves. We couldn't have written that better.
No, like that's poetry.
So now we know
Okay.
exactly who Ragnall is.
So she's
a
stealing
vampire assassin.
from. She's stealing from the thieves. She's a thief.
She's a butt Robin
butt
Hood.
plug Batman. Yeah, Robin Hood. Yeah, not Batman.
Robin Hood.
I'm Batman. I'm here for your butt
We were
plugs.
so wrong
Hey.
all the time.
I ask her. Ask her where if she's heard of any leads of stashes, butt plug stashes.
So Ahmed just said that the sister's name should be Robin Butts, and he is completely correct.
Robin butts.
Sorry about my terrible. Do you have any leads on butt plug stashes? She just shakes her head. You return to the cell area and see Ragnall in a more cheerful mood. She seems to have forgotten her hardships. Want to make some music?
Okay.
That's great.
Oh, yeah. Annie?
Annie.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
Okay. To my surprise, she removes the trumpet from her anus.
What's the price? To your surprise, she removes the trumpet from her anus. Can you play that thing? Of course you can. You've been playing for years. She smiles and begins to play and play and play and play some more on the
Dear
anus
God.
trumpet. And is this Ragnall who's done this?
Yeah.
Ragnall the vampire,
The vampire
assassin.
assassin.
Victor, yeah.
And butt
So
trumpeter.
she is stealing butt plugs from giant butt thieves and anus trumpets.
I think the anus trumpet was, lawfully acquired.
It's just
She
a
seems
person.
to be pretty practiced at it. Okay, well, if she's playing music, well, we're a bard, so let's grab that lute and start jamming with her, because...
We jam.
Also, I'll change it to you jam with Ragnar. We're one person.
On the lute. Go ahead and...
On the lute.
Oh wow, it's really good.
I like how the music just sort of got like super epic.
Oh.
Hold on, I can fix this.
I think we
I
need
like
to
how
use...
I'm allowed to pull a trumpet out of my anus, but you can't say the word fucking.
You and I begin to play. You play some songs from your childhood. She plays some amazing riffs on the fiddle. Your sister soon comes to the jail. Okay, this is kind of making sense. Now, sister
we've
was
got
out there.
2 sisters.
Our second
It's like
sister.
a riddle. We just have 2 sisters.
It's a riddle.
The other one, we should use Gary's name for that one. He suggested Indabutt. He is correct.
Indabutt?
Yes, Inda, yes. New sister's name, Inda.
What even is
butt,
this?
Inda butt, maximum butt.
And Robin Butt.
Your sister is called Indabutt. Her boyfriend, and likely also her lover, well, likely, is trained for butt plug theft. She's heard about the incredible musician you are and wants you to play for her in an upcoming concert.
Oh,
There
great.
you go.
Time for the lute and ass trumpet combination.
Okay. All right. I think. Ooh, what can we do here?
I think we need to leave the jail, I think.
Yeah, we need to leave jail. The jail of the burnt down city. Okay, so I tell Inda that Ragnall is a traitor.
Oh, for fuck's sake. There we go. See.
Well, now we're a traitor too. We just jammed with her.
Hey, Inda, Ragnall's a traitor. Really? I wonder why she hasn't tried to escape. She knows she'll be killed if she does.
He's too busy with that ass trumpet.
Checks out. We're gonna need to defeat somebody here soon.
I'm gonna have to step out of the session soon, guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think this is a good last round.
We have to. I mean, family is important. Family is very important. And so I think the only solution is to sing Chief Bromden into submission and get the key.
Yes. Together, all together.
Yes. I think that's his name. Yeah, Bromden.
It is, yeah, I think.
Successfully.
You sing Chief Bromden into submission and steal the key successfully, and you leave the jail. You return. Well, we went back. Return to the jail, surprising Chief Bromden and bringing the key with you. Why you? You shut him up by jamming your boot into his mouth and shutting it. The boot or his mouth?
We shut his mouth
This
twice.
is a very frustrating story.
I'd say that's a good stopping point because if we can take up next time, we now have to leave the jail and go somewhere else.
Yes, yes.
I think
Yeah,
we've left
the
jail.
AI dungeon really wants us to be in that jail, doesn't it?
It
Yeah,
really
we
does.
leave. You go back.
We have to do a dungeon crawl.
Annie? what's
Okay.
that? Last round.
Oh, last round?
How do we get out of here?
We go to the concert.
We have to go to the concert. Do we take a tour chariot to the concert? I don't know.
Annie, what do you
Dragon?
think?
Oh, it's me? Oh, okay. We decide to go to the concert on roller skates.
Which concert? I mean,
The one we're
this is-
performing at, man.
One. Shut up and play.
Wow. Did you
Oh.
All right.
Oh, the end.
The end.
James, you got a end credit scene for us?
Meanwhile.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I can't think of anything.
Ragnall eats a butt plug. Then she eats another butt plug and another butt plug.
I think the AI just outdid anything I could possibly have offered, to be honest.
That is fucking
That was
brilliant.
the AI. Oh my god.
How does it know that's what we wanted?
Yeah.
And more butt plug.
Oh, lads, we need to
she's just
End.
We need to give up our
Ragnall,
professions.
the butt plug eating vampire assassin.
Thank you, AI. It's like, how did the AI know?
Hats off. Hats
The
off
end.
to the AI. I'm
man.
Guys,
absolutely
We're all gonna be out of the job very soon if this kind of caliber keeps up.
Yeah.
We didn't know we wanted that. It knew though.
Great.
Yeah, it did know.
That was the most satisfying thing.
Yeah, and it saved it right to the end too.
It did.
See Ragnall's in
It
jail just
knew.
eating butt plugs.
That was uncanny, almost creepy. You guys, I've got to skip out. It's been so fun.
All right, me too.
Bye.
Thank you guys. Thank you everybody who's here, who watched us play with butt plugs. What do we have any? I don't know what's happening in 2 weeks, but we will have a troll poll going up tomorrow. And yeah, keep an eye out for all of our releases. Go sign up for our newsletter. Go to our Discord server. Just join the club, everybody. Hit the bell, subscribe, like,
buy
do
a
all
cat,
the things, all the clicking.
knock a
Ring
thing
the
off
bells.
a table.
Yeah.
Eat a butt plug.
Yeah.
Eat a butt plug.
Knock it